Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show Tip the Tea. I'm your host, Angie E., where we talk about everything from motivation, inspiration, and of course the tea. So come on, make sure you go on my YouTube channel, type in my name, Angela Eskridge, and make sure you subscribe. Today we have a very special guest here. Her name is Miss Terry Simmons. She is the founder, the CEO of her own women's group in Aurora. So let's talk about that on the show. You want to stay tuned, and she's going to teach us a little bit about what she does in her brand. So how you doing, Miss Terry Simmons? It's an honor to have you here.
Wonderful. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
I really appreciate it.
It's an honor to have you. I was waiting on you to finish, but anyway, I could go over it. She's the founder of and the director of Women's Business Center in Aurora. She's a strategic.
My own business, strategic exceptions.
Okay, strategic exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk a little bit more about what she does with her brand and everything. So, what is it that you do, and how long have you been doing it?
I'm so excited about being on the show with you today. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure and allowing me to share a little bit of what I know and how I support women and business owners. So I am the owner of a company that I founded called Strategic Exceptions Professional Consulting. And what we do is I like to say I help make dreams come true. I help individuals from a professional standpoint. I do workshops and trainings, corporate workshops and training, leadership development and coaching, and also consulting and speaking engagements, empowerment speaking engagements, and motivational speaking through that outlet. And then I run a women's business center in Aurora where I help make dreams come true as well. I help women start and grow their businesses, help them get access to money for their business, contracts, and different resources that they need to grow.
Wow, that's amazing. You're the right person I need to talk to. I've been trying to get funded actually for the show. A lot of people have been telling me that I can actually get funded for the show. So a little bit, can you tell me a little bit and explain a little bit how that goes? I don't have my 501c3 in play, but it's in process. The last I checked. It's been a long process, though.
Yeah.
So I'm still sort of kind of waiting for that. But I also want to talk to you, about that and how do I, what revenues do I take to continue to do that? About Tip to Tea, how do I get funded or grants?
Okay, so there are different types of businesses, and you mentioned a 501c3, which is a nonprofit organization. That means that your business is not for profit. It's normally to help with some type of social concern, whether it's you're providing information to individuals that don't necessarily be able to get access to it, or you're supporting a specific demographic, like low to moderate income. The other type of business is a profit business, and that means that you set your business up as a legal entity with the state and with the federal government. You can be an LLC, you can be an S-type corporation, or you can be a sole proprietor. It just depends on how you want to structure your business from a tax and legal standpoint. You mentioned 501c3. With 501c3s, a lot of their funding, some of their funding do come through grants and then through fundraising. A 501c can take a while to set up. It just depends on how you're structuring it. You have to first get it set up with the state, and then you have to get it set up from a federal standpoint. So there's different steps to setting up your 501c3. I don't know necessarily where you are in the process, but there's two different steps. You have to get your tax identifier through the state, and then you have to get your articles of incorporation through from a federal level. So there's two processes to it. If you are just looking for a for-profit business, I would say start with some type of business plan where you can do a roadmap of what you want to do in order to get funding from your business. And normally a for-profit business, they seek funding in a lot of different ways. Sometimes people will fund the business themselves through their own money and resources. and then sometimes they will go after a loan with a lender, whether it's a traditional bank or a micro lender. And with the Women's Business Center, we do microloans. So a microloan is for a business that can't necessarily go to a bank and get a loan. And normally startup businesses, they normally can't do that because they don't have the history that a bank is looking for, because they're taking more of a risk. So with the microloans that we provide through the Women's Business Center, we know that there's a risk with startups. So we work as a resource for them to get them up to where they create creditworthiness, build collateral, and then once they do a microloan with us, and pay that loan back, then normally it's easier for them to go to a traditional bank to get a loan to continue to grow the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the TV show, so that would be more like profit, like a profit. So there are loans and stuff out there for that. And what if I didn't want to take out a loan because I'm still paying student loans?
Yeah. And a lot of people choose not to do that. They will use their own money. Sometimes people borrow from their 401k, from personal savings. Sometimes they'll get friends to invest into their business and then they make whatever agreements with those, contracts with those folks that invest, whether it's some type of rate of return on their investment. Sometimes people give shares of their business depending on what the investment is. So that's an option. But again, grants are normally for a nonprofit business. There's not a lot of grants for for-profit business out there. Okay. For nonprofits, there are more grants available for nonprofits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said, should I wait on my 501c for nonprofit? Is that what you're saying? Or?
That would be if you're going to be adding a nonprofit piece to your business. Yes. A lot of people have for-profit and nonprofit sides to their business. It just depends on what their objectives are. Okay. So a lot of folks, when they start their for-profit business, they realize that, okay, there is an area in society that I want to address. Okay. So it could be there's not enough funding for after-school programs. Okay. So they may add a nonprofit element to their business for after-school programming, and there's grants and funding out there for those type of things. Okay. So that's how a lot of times people structure their business. So it just depends upon your business model and what you want to incorporate into your business. Oh. So a for-profit and a not-for-profit, that happens a lot. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll have to talk more about that. That's amazing. Great information. So, actually, what inspired you to do this?
So I got my inspiration from my grandmother. I grew up in entrepreneurship, and my grandmother back in the early 1950s, she started with selling turkeys to raise money. She was a sharecropper, and she wanted her own business. So she started selling turkeys, and she saved that money. She saved enough money to buy cows. So then once she was able to buy cows, she took the money that she earned from selling the cows, and she bought over 100 acres of land in rural Alabama in the early 1950s, which black women were not doing at that time. Yeah. So she farmed that land. My dad was her only son. So I grew up in an environment where we farmed and always had an entrepreneur spirit. When I was a little girl, I used to work alongside my auntie. She used to sell pies, and she would go to farms and sell pies and meals for workers to have for lunchtime, kind of like the food trucks now. Yeah, well, she was doing that back in the day out of the rear of her car. So I grew up in an entrepreneurship environment. And my mom, on my mom's side, my grandmother on my mom's side, she was a seamstress. So she was an entrepreneur. But I worked in corporate America for 27 years in different leadership roles at ComEd. And all of that time I worked in different roles, and it gave me an opportunity to expand my network. And as a part of expanding my network, I became one of the leaders in the community of the city of Aurora, including being the first woman to run the Quad County African American Chamber of Commerce as their chair of the board. So I met a lot of wonderful women in the city of Aurora, and we got together and we pitched an idea to the Women's Business Center in Chicago that's been around for for over 30 years, that we needed something in Aurora for women to help them to grow and start businesses, especially low to moderate income women. So the CEO, she got on board, and with one of the state representatives, Linda Chapalavia, they were able to go to the federal government and get funding for us to open up a women's business center in Aurora.
Wow.
So that's how all of that came about. So after the CEO of ComEd put me on a project for a year and paid me to get the Women's Business Center up and going in Aurora. So after I got that up, I loved the work so much, I decided to take early retirement from ComEd and just continue to do that work because it was just where I was supposed to be.
That is amazing. And speaking of that, God had birthed a women's group in me in 2016. That's when I took early retirement from Nestle. And I started holding these meetings every third Friday of each month. And it's called Virtuous Women, where we will meet every third Friday, like I said, of every month. And we would talk about all type of just life. And what we talked about stayed there. And we empowered one another. We poured into one another. And it was amazing. I started doing other things too. I kind of got out of it, but I did it the whole year of 2016. And I was really trying to find a way to. They kept telling me, why don't you just open up a women's center or some type of shelter for women that's first getting out of jail or fresh out of prisons, the abuse, So I said, you know what, I'm going to pray about it, and I went in and I prayed about it, and I started doing so much other things like. I started writing books. I started with a TV show. I started traveling, and stuff. So I kind of got out of it, but I'm not giving up on that, And I used a lot of my money, my own money and everything. So I was trying, that's why I wanted to talk to you about, getting grants and stuff like that too. But, money isn't everything when it comes down to empowering people.
That's right.
And helping other people. So I never even thought about it like that. But when I see the look on those women's faces, when they come in looking one way but come out with a smile on their face, that just really flooded my heart with so much joy.
There's nothing like it, and that's why I love what I do so much, because being able to give of myself things that I have been able to, God have blessed me with, to share with other people. That was one of the reasons why it was so easy for me to leave corporate America, because I knew it was where I was supposed to be. And with your vision and your dream, it's only a pause for you. You go, if that's what God has designed for you, you're going to do that. And this is just building you to get to what that next step is. And if it's having that shelter or that place where women are going to be able to come and get that empowerment that they need, it's going to come to pass. It's going to happen for you. So don't give up on that, because if it's in your heart, it's going to happen.
All right, prophetess. Look at you, girl. I received that.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Don't touch the dial. We'll be right back. We're having a very good discussion with Miss Terry Simmons. Don't touch the dial. We'll be right back with Tip to Tea, Angie E.
Hello, everyone. This is Angie E. with Tip to Tea. If you or anyone you know in the Chicagoland area and you would like to come out to promote your brand, network, or even if you have an interesting topic you would like us to discuss, come on out and be my special guest. Let's tip the tea. For more details about the show, you can go to my YouTube channel, type in my name, Angela Eskridge, and leave me a comment, and I'll get back with you. And you can also catch up on all the previous episodes. So come on out. Let's tip the tea. I'm Angie E. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Marla Redrick, and I'm with World Financial Group. We're a division of Transamerica World Financial Services.
My name is Jeff King. I'm an associate also with World Financial Group.
And if you're an entrepreneur and you want to talk about your business here with Angie E., she'd be happy to have you as well. Super excited. She's a lot of fun, and you have a great time and get an opportunity to talk about your brand. So come on out, check her out on YouTube, Angie E. on Tip the Tea.
Hello everyone, I'm Carol Coleman. I'm on the set with Tip the Tea with Angie E. If you want to come on as a special guest, leave a comment below. Come on the show with Angie E. and Tip the Tea. Okay. Also, I am a mental health supervisor. If you need any help, if you're just thinking about it, if you're just thinking about a crisis, please call 1-877-964-1245. They can get you all the help you need. Come on. You don't suffer alone.
Hey, I'm Will Sutton, and I'm on Angie E. Tip the T. You can check me out on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. at Chicago Sportstown Network, and that is every Tuesday, 2 to 3 p.m. Or you can follow my Facebook page at William H. Sutton III, or you can follow my Instagram at Sutton Sports. That is with a Z and not an S. That is SUTTON, sports with a Z and not an S.
Welcome back to the show, Tip the Tea. I'm your host, Angie E. We have a very, very good show today. We're talking about the topic is Women in Motion. We have here Miss Terry Simmons. She is the founder and the director of her women's shelter and her women's center in Aurora, Illinois. Before we left and went to a commercial break, we were talking about different grants and loans and everything for entrepreneurship and how you can get started. She is the lady to talk to, trust me. Before we go out and we do the outro of the show, she's going to give you her information and her contact information if you have any questions. So don't touch that dial. Make sure you continue to stay tuned. So, Miss Terry, we were talking about before we went to the commercial break about the grants and the loans and everything. So I want to see, ask you. You told me what inspired you to do it. Now, how long have you been doing this? Because I think this is amazing, And we as women, we need this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We need motivation. We even need a lot of more mentors. Mm-hmm. Once I had on the show, the older women were, pouring into the younger women. So we had about 4, I don't call them older women, I call them seasoned, women with wisdom. Mm-hmm. And we had about 4 teenagers. They were 17, all women. And we were just, instilling in them about their self-worth. Standing on your self-worth and start having a business plan, I was talking about my daughter. She's 28, and, I was telling her, I said, at 28, when I was 28, I had no clue. I wasn't even thinking about becoming a business owner or anything like that. So I'm so grateful for her, and I'm very proud of her, opening up her own salon as, 28 under 30. Yeah. With a child.
That is a great accomplishment.
It is. Yeah. So I'm so proud of her. So back to what we were saying. How long have you been doing this?
Okay. So I have been the director of the Women's Business Center for about 3.5 years. Okay. But as far as being a woman to help other women, empowering other women, I'd like to say I've been doing this all my life. Wow. Because I've always taken on leadership roles, whether it was in high school, in college, in church. I've always liked to help other people and to give back and to share with people information that I have. And that's a lot of people. It's not complex to help other people. It's not very complex. It's very easy because we all have been in a place where we needed some type of help. Absolutely. So that whether you think it's a little thing or a big thing, there is something that you can do to help another person. It could be another woman who may be going through something in a personal relationship. It could be someone that's going through something financial. I've had girlfriends for years where if we didn't have money, no one would ever know it because we were always sharing with each other. If I had money, my girlfriend had money. If she needed something, grocery, I would share with her. If I needed something, so for me, it's been an ongoing experience to empower and to help other people because I grew up in that environment and I've always seen the value of it and the power of helping other people. And the Bible says that to whom much is given, much is required. And God has blessed me and given me so much until I don't see where it would where I could not want to give back and to empower and to help other people and just to come on to your show, to be given the opportunity to do that. I could be in a place where nobody wants me to be on their show. So I count it all joy whenever God uses me to help other people. So,
Amen.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing. So how did you get started in this?
With the women's business,
yes.
with the Women's Business Center, I got started with it. I shared a little bit about that before, but being in an environment where I worked in governmental affairs and corporate affairs, and it just seemed like God just put me in a place where I needed to be and do the steps that I needed to go through in order to get to where I am now. But when I started working in economic development and governmental affairs for ComEd, I started to come in contact with a lot of women and a lot of women groups, the Chamber of Commerce groups, other women empowerment groups. And so understanding that there was so much need and so many opportunities, that what really pushed me to step forward on my faith, because it was something that I was already doing, but it was in me that I wanted to grow it and I wanted to become more and I wanted to do more. So going through all of those experiences I would say over the last 10 years, it really helped to build me and grow me and get me to where I am now, to be running a women's business center, so that I'm directly impacting women's lives on a daily basis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing.
Yeah.
I love your integrity.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
just helping others, that means a whole lot. And you know, God is very pleased with that, because it talks about it. Remind me of that scripture when He said He loves a cheerful giver. You know, that's giving back.
Yeah.
You're still giving back.
Yeah.
So I am so amazing, and I'm so amazed by what you're doing, and also I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I love to see that in women. You know, just giving back and to help, and and then love doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That is amazing. So what was your greatest experience in doing this?
I've had so many, but I'm going to tell you about a recent one that I've been partnering with the Kane County Sheriff's Department and helping with their recidivism program. So it's a program where when incarcerated individuals leave, giving them the tools so that they won't come back and return back to prison. Because that is what one of the biggest challenges in the criminal justice system is, keeping individuals that have been incarcerated from coming back. So I've been working with my great friend Judy Dawson. She's a wonderful friend. I've known her for over 7 years, and she has a program through Kane County, and I work directly with them and working with the women that's there and helping them with how to interview for a job when they leave. I teach them how to interview for jobs, and I help them build a resume. So when they leave, they're ready to go out and interview for those jobs. They're ready to put their resume out there to try to get jobs, so that then they can earn money, so that they won't have to do other things to try to earn money to take care of their family. So I help with their job readiness program, and also help them to build, those that want to become entrepreneurs, I help them build and develop their business plans as well. So that's one of the most rewarding things that I've done recently. So, and I just love it.
Well, that takes care of the next question I was going to ask you, because I was going to ask you what was your greatest project, and also what motivated you to do that. So you just kind of answered that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So what really, really motivated you to keep going, to say, look, I got to continue to go. I got to, continue to help these people. What was that like? Wow. Was it a look on their faces, the smiles, or what kept you coming, or what kept you going and motivated you to keep going with this, with your business?
Well, the things that motivate me on a daily basis is the fact that God don't have to bless me the way that He do, but He continues to bless me, whether it's through just being able to get up in the morning and having the activity of my limbs and being in my right mind. And the other thing is that I've had so many people to pour into me that I can't help but to give back. People don't, my mom used to say, people don't have to be nice to you.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And so many people have been nice to me that I feel that I'm obligated to be nice to other people. And then the third thing is I have a daughter of my own and I have a granddaughter. And I want to be the example for them and I want to leave a legacy.
Come on.
I don't want my life on this earth to have been in vain. So I want to have a purpose. And I know God has a purpose for me and I want to walk in that purpose.
Amen.
That's what keeps me
amazing.
going.
That's right. That's a great answer. Have you ever had any bad experiences throughout this journey?
Absolutely. I think we all have. And you know, I have had bad experiences. And what I have learned from my experience is that every experience is a growing opportunity. I've had some terrible bosses.
Wow.
And what I've learned from those bosses is things that I do not, the things that I didn't want to do as a boss. So I always reflect on every experience that I have. And I try to take the things that are good and those things that are going to help me to be able to help other people out of the situation. So, I've had some bad experiences, but I always know that this too shall pass.
Come on.
That it won't last forever.
That's
and
right.
there's a brighter side on the other side.
Absolutely. And that's amazing. That was a very amazing answer. I was once when I was doing Virtuous Women, one of my most worst experience, I think, is just seeing this one particular person. She came in, she was so down in the spirit to the point where when we talked, she said she wanted to commit suicide. So I knew then and there, God said, hey, wait a minute. She walked in here with that thought, but she will not walk out with that. And God used me in a great and mighty way. Like I said, I didn't ask, but he had to, put it in me so that I can help her. But I told her what God told me to tell her. And by the time she got out of there, she had a smile on her face. We kept in touch. And we were able to, encourage, able to encourage her and tell her how beautiful she is. And you can make it, girl. You're strong. You're powerful. Yes. And most importantly, you're God's apple you're the apple of God's eyes. Yes. So don't give up.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it was kind of a bad one, but it turned out to be good. See, the Bible said what the devil meant for bad, God will turn it around for good. So I was really, really grateful to just see the smile on her face.
Yeah, that's good.
It was really good.
That's a great story.
Yeah. So how do you balance your personal life with your professional life?
That's always a challenge for all of us.
Yes.
Because we as women especially, we juggle a lot of balls.
Yes.
We do a lot of things for a lot of people, and sometimes we neglect ourselves to make sure that we're taking care of other people. Yeah. So how I balance my personal life with my professional life is I take vacation whenever I can. I like to travel out of the country. I love the Caribbean, my husband and I. We like to travel. We take at least one vacation a year to the Caribbean. Sometimes we try to do two. But the other thing that I do for myself is that every quarter I take a break.
That's important.
And I try to, if I can, I try to get in maybe a 2-day retreat where I just go away and I reflect, and then I'll do some work, but it's mostly time that I spend with God and meditating and taking care of myself.
That's important.
And I like to go to the spa. I get massages frequently. And then the other thing that I do, I love spending time with my grandkids. My grandkids are very active in sports, so I do, that's a good downtime and release for me, watching them play sports and at their games. A lot of people get intense, but I look at it as a lot of fun. A lot of parents, it's very intense for them. But I look at it through a grandma's eyes because I just, I enjoy the fun of it. So that's kind of what I do to get away and to make sure that I balance personal and professional.
Wonderful. Yeah. And what is your ultimate goal for your business and your career? What do you see yourself in the next 5 years of it?
My ultimate goal for my business is to grow my business, of course, and to sell my business. either to, if my kids want it, or to a partner or an organization that may want to purchase it. And then my goal after to sell my business, but also to move more into a space where I am doing more mentoring, more motivational and professional speaking to help serve women from in different markets. So to venture into different markets globally.
Okay. And is that what's next for you?
That's what's next for me.
That's what's next for
And I'm working on a book as well.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, we can really talk about that.
Yeah.
It's so. You know what? I never thought that being an author or writing was so fun. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing your book on your life.
Yeah.
Your past experiences in your life. Your life's journey.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Yes.
It's gonna be so fun. Because actually, I'm starting to write my second one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get the first one up and out. We're working on that. My publisher, she's a wonderful woman. She's amazing. She's so patient, and she's very helpful. And I'm gonna give her a shout out, Miss Tiffany Green. Thank you for your patience and just being, a wise woman. She's very,
Awesome.
very good.
That's
so,
good.
Yes. So before we close out the show, I want to just ask you maybe a few more questions. One of them is I'm sorry. If viewers want to get in contact with you to find out more information, how could they contact you? And you can look in the camera and tell them, please.
Okay. They can reach me via email at tessleaders1@gmail.com. That's TESLEADERS, the number 1 @gmail.com. Or you can reach me at Terry, TERRIE, at strategicexceptions.com. Or you can contact me at 630-746-5634. I'm also on Facebook at Terry Simmons MBA, or you can reach me on LinkedIn at Terry Simmons MBA, and I'm also on Instagram under Terry Simmons.
Good. That's amazing. Because I'm sure going to be reaching out to you. Look, we're friends now.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Miss Terry Simmons, it was a strategic honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
Really, thank you so much again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come out and be with me on Tip to Tea.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for having me on Tip to Tea.
Right. Thank you so much for coming. With that being said, we're getting ready to close out the show. God laid something on my heart. He said every time you close out the show, just give a small synopsis of an inspirational comment. And here it is. If you feel like you can't make it, always know that God is on your side. Always know that you are beautiful. Always know that you're powerful. You can make it. Say it to yourself. I can make it. I am wonderfully made by Jesus Christ. And that is the inspirational thought that God has given me. And so with that being said, so if you or anyone you know in the Chicagoland area and you would like to come out and promote your brand, network, or even if you have an interesting topic you would like to discuss, come on out and be my special guest. Come on, let's tip the tea with Angie E. For more details about the show, you can go to my YouTube page, type in my name, Angela Eskridge, and also leave a comment. And also, please subscribe, and I'll get back with you. So come on out, be my special guest. I'm looking forward to seeing you. This is Tip to Tea with Angie E. See you soon.